Shot on smartphone. Shot entirely on mobile phone. Shot on iPhone. Yes. We did something like that, but this time it's way different from what you might have seen before. We scripted, shot, edited, and sound record a feature film exclusively, entirely and purely on a mobile phone, in 4K resolution. Let me show you how.
For those who understand, content creation is now much smarter and mobile.
Shot skit, shot movie, promotional video. All this can be made on your fingertips without much hassles these days. Mobile filmmaking has been a blessing in disguise.
With the advent of this device, many visions, many talents, many messages which would have been buried has now come to life. One alternative is to use what you have, what is in your pocket, to break the budget and rock like rocket.
So, when you come from a country like mine, where we always have issues with electricity and we have regular power outage, oh my God, not again. In actual fact, when I was recording this, there was real life power outage. When I got to this part of the video, I was about to record and to press record, and there was power outage. And this is what we have been facing as content creators in this part of the world. With that background, we need to think very sharply and wisely. If you are not very careful, we are being ruled under darkness in our nation here. You need to beam the light in you. Think out of the box and think of what you can do to always make sure your content gets out, or they don't kill the fire of producing that content. Because you have the excuse, there's no power, there's no fuel, there's no, now we have to put on generator before I could do all this, and that will cost you extra money. This is not always the very best. The noise of the gen, the sound, all those distractions are here for us. And with that, we need to think out of the box. We do. So while we are using the phone to edit and to do other things, we discovered that we have constraints, and the constraint like a small view of the phone, the phone of the phone being small. Then we look for solution by trying to get something like this to edit and to do many other things. Even to shoot, I can monitor myself. Like now, I'm monitoring myself on this screen. I'm monitoring myself to see. But with this, back to how we shot a feature film completely, entirely, and exclusively on a mobile phone. The title of the film is The Left Leg.
Violence, money love, pride of life, secrecy, retaliation. In you I trust, do not let me be ashamed. Do not let my enemies rejoice over.
I personally got the inspiration some years back while I was in the film school, and we were asked to narrate something that actually happened to us in real life and try to build a story out of it. And personally, I don't like acting, but we just have to. It's one of the course you must pass. So I tried to, to do the little I could do. So after submitting, I passed that exam and I did well. I look at the story. This story shouldn't go like that. I can write a story around it, and it can be a blessing to somebody somewhere. So all of a sudden, I got inspiration. We shot movies for some children of God, ministers of God, and we just felt that if we could do that, and we got encouraged by that, it's blessing life. Why can't we do our own movie? So we began to think of what we can do, and I got the courage immediately that we're going to shoot this movie. I started shooting this movie during one of the most difficult time during the year 2023. That was the election period, which was February. And February, I think February, March or thereabout, we started planning and to shoot. It was during that election week when there was holiday that we shot this movie. We shot it within a period of 4 days. Before then, I've been having a plan to shoot a movie titled The Tree. I think that was 2 years ago. I've written the scripts, and the plan is to script the movie on a mobile, to write the script on a mobile phone, to shoot the movie on a mobile using a mobile phone, and also to edit the movie using a mobile phone. And that was intended to be our first feature film done on a mobile. So that was a plan. That everything completely exclusively done on a mobile phone. That was the plan I was having. But this one came when we recorded this one as audio drama. It was like 30 minutes. It was 30 minutes, around 30 minutes. So I knew the visual is going to be more than 30 minutes, but I wasn't too sure. I wasn't planning to make it to be a full-length movie. But when we started shooting, we discovered that there's nothing we could do. It would be up to 50 minutes or thereabout. So I tried to cut it to around 15 minutes so that we'll be able to. But in whichever way, when you want to submit to festival, by the time you get to 50 minutes, it is considered to be a feature movie. So that was how we shot our first feature film, scripted, shot and edited on mobile phone. Now, what was my mobile setup? I'll call this one my ultra mobile setup. Yes, first of all, we have the Celtics scripts application that is on the Android. You can download that. I don't know of iPhone, but that should be something like that on the iPhone. So I wrote the script, directly on the phone using Celtics scripts application. That's for the screenplay, for the scripting. Now, what about the graphics, including design, the flyers? Everything was done on a mobile. We used Pixel Lab, we used Photo Lab, and also I used InShot for one or two things that I needed to do, probably to remove the background of a picture and things like that. I use InShot. So generally, we use Pixel Lab, InShot, and Photo Lab for the graphic design. Not that alone, for other graphics in the movie, like the end credits, we also use the Pixel Lab to design the end credits, and then I imported it into the KineMaster to finish up. But the subtitling was purely done in KineMaster. I did the subtitling directly inside. Which phone did we use? We used two phones, and both phones are Android. We don't have an iPhone, so we use what we have. We use Android. This Android phone, they are both LG phones. The first one is LG V50S, and the second one is LG V35. The LG V50S did 90% of the job, because the camera of the LG V50S was, to me, better than the look. It was better than that of V35, especially indoors. It's always better when I use the V50S. So most of the shots were taken, but few ones I managed to take from when it is interior, I managed to use the V35. But exterior, the V35 was very, very wonderful. Exterior, all those road scene, all those stuff was taken with V35. It was good at exterior when you have good lighting, and the lighting I have for the interior is just the little lights I have with me at home. We decided that we are not renting anything. We are going to use what we have to do everything that we needed. In fact, in the car scene, interior of the car scene, we use the selfie, the front camera of the V50S. One day we were doing online, and I was preparing for the online program. I saw that the selfie of the. I just mistakenly used the selfie one day, and I saw that it was good. Oh wow! So this is we can even use this to shoot movies in situation whereby we needed it. So that was what encouraged me. We used the selfie for the car scene. We use the selfie of the V50S to shoot. Of course, the selfie can shoot 4K. The selfie can shoot 4K, but you know the quality. I wasn't too sure. Most of the cameras may not be too good, but this time around, the selfie video of the camera V50S was good, and we were able to use it very well. The camera hubs that I used the MC Pro 24 FPS only. I didn't use any other application. I purchased this professional hub deliberately for shooting when I want to do any serious work. Though I use some other camera hub, I have quite a number of them here with me. I have quite a number of them in my camera folder. I have the normal camera that comes with the LG. I have the camera 4K, Filmy Pro. I have motion cam. It's too much for my phone. I don't have the money to buy the kind of phone that can use that app, motion cam. That one shoots raw video, and my phone couldn't take it. I've invested the money, but when I have the money, I know God is going to provide for me. I'm going to buy a phone that can shoot raw video and also buy enough memory, because if you want to shoot raw, you must have enough memory to be able to shoot raw, and a very fast card reader, very fast one to be able to to shoot properly. I have open camera and MC Pro 24, but I use MC Pro 24 FPS to shoot movies, to shoot if it's something very serious that I needed to do. I use MC Pro. I use other app for like this live I'm doing now. I'm using Filmy Pro, but I don't. On my phone, the MC Pro is better than Filmy Pro. So then, that was the camera app that I used. Also, the editing app that was used, we used KineMaster for the basic editing, subtitling, and the audio. Then also, I used InShot and Coloro app for color correction and color grading. I use those two apps. The KineMaster application is not too good for color. You can use it to cut and do some other things, but for color, InShot was useful, was handy for me, and Coloro also was much more handy. There are a lot of things that I will be looking for, because since I edit on the system naturally, so I'll be looking for it. If I know that quite a number of things that are not on phone. Use something we call curves. We have it on Coloro, we have it on InShot, CapCut, which KineMaster doesn't have. So there are some things I need to do manual correction and thereabout for color and the rest. HSL and things like that. We don't have it on KineMaster. We have it in InShot and Coloro, and I was able to use them. I bought LumaFusion also. Unfortunately, there are two apps that I bought that I've not been able to make use because my phone is not doing well. I need to buy another phone that's more powerful to be able to use them. Like the LumaFusion, I have that on my second phone, and all of a sudden, I discovered that if my phone is not in Android 10, I will not be able to use the motion camera. I wrote the developer, and they said that they will look into it, but since that time till now, they have not done anything about it. So for the LumaFusion, from the onset, I bought it, but I can only use it on my second phone, which is Android 10, but that phone is an old phone. It's not, when it's by the time I begin to color grade on, do something of that nature on it, it begins to lag. But I bought it, that when I have the finances, I will buy, and I'll experiment and see what comes out of it. So those are the things that I use. The audio also, I use the camera, the audio app that came with my phone. You see, LG phones, I have quite a number of audio apps on my phone, but the one that came with the LG phones, most of the time, they're always very powerful. They have what it takes for me to record professional audio. It's called I think the HD audio recorder on the LG phone. LG is more or less the most powerful phone when it comes to audio. They have a lot of things that most phones do not have, and that's one of the reasons why I use LG. They have that. When it comes to audio, they are almost unbeatable. So this audio hub they made, I can record in wave formats. I can do all those. I can set the wave format. I can set the bit depth beyond the normal ones that your phone will do, and sample rate is very, very high. By the time I import this into my system, sometimes my system will identify that this is a very high audio, and that kind of a thing. So I connected what I'm using now. I'm using the Saramonic. It's at my back here. I'm using the Saramonic preamplifier preamp. I'm using it directly with the phone. I will connect direct because it's made for phone. So when you have three black rings on it, that we call it TRRS, tape ring sleeve. So the jack is made for phone. So that Saramonic preamp is made for phone. So I insert it on the phone. So I dedicate a phone. Sometimes when I'm not using two phones, I use the other phone. Then I use the boom mic connected to it to get my audio. And most of the time, because of the way my crew is, nobody to carry the audio and all that. So most of the time we were using our wireless mic. We use this Chinese made wireless mic that we have. We attach, save our head. Mostly it was close to the body of the actors, and we were able to hear them clearly, but nobody could monitor because I was behind shooting, doing the lighting, doing all that things. And the way those things were made, for me to have extra audio monitoring, those are the things we were able to use. And I am sure if we do that again and again, we get better and better with it. The first thing I will say is that you should know your limits. Don't go beyond what you can handle. Make sure you research properly. Know your limitations. Those phones that I was using, I've been shooting with the phone for some time. I've been doing 30 minutes. I've been doing 40 minutes. In fact, I've been editing footages from professional cameras. I've been putting them on the phone. So I know that beyond what I'm going to do, the phone can undo it. Quite a number of things, phones are limited. So you need to really know what the phone you want to use, what it can do, what are the limitations of that phone. Know your limitations when it comes to your talents. How gifted are you? I was able to get away with a lot of things because there are quite a number of things that I can do on my own. My wife can act and she can do makeup, she can do a lot of things. My daughter can act and she can do a lot of things. They were both into movie making. So I have a friend, the friend that I use also, they have been of help in one or two occasions. I will just give them a little bit, instruction to them to be able to perform well. So I will not have to struggle too much. So I wasn't just going to hire people and that I would not be able to, take care of and all that, spend a lot. I spent some money quite okay, but, it wasn't beyond what I can. It wasn't beyond what I can manage. It wasn't beyond what I can handle. So you must know your limitations, know the equipment you want to use, know the limitations of those equipments, where and how you can use them, and to what limits you can use them. And the storage of the phone, do you have extra card? Do you have hard disks where you can keep the footage, the rushes where you can keep them because they can not all stay on the phone. Like when I shot this, on the system, I think I have more than 200 gig files, and my phone quite okay. I use a phone which is 8 gig RAM. My system is 32 gig RAM. My system 32 gig RAM, but when I render videos, I discovered that my phone is a lot faster than the system that I use, because there's probably some. It's not only the RAM that will make all those things to the GPU. My GPU is around, I think, 4 gig, and it's a sort of old GPU kind of, for my desktop. But when it comes to the phone, it does those things a lot faster than my system. And the internal storage of my phone is around 256 gig. So when I was purchasing the phone, I knew in my mind the limitations. I know what I was going for. I wasn't looking for phone that are so costly. I bought an old flagship phone of LG that has that kind of storage. So before I went into thinking of I want to shoot, and there'll be some files on your phone already, so I can't have that 256 gig internal storage ready for the movie. When I was about to start the movie, I think I had only around 100 gig, so it won't be enough. And what I shot was much more beyond 200 gig. And why? Because I shot in 4K. That's one interesting part of it. I shot on 4K. It was very, very voluminous. It was massive. And I was scared that if I shoot on 4K, I've been shooting on 4K regularly. I shoot on 4K. In fact, my phone on MC Pro 24 FPS doesn't behave well. If I shoot on Full HD, it will be having drop frames. It will be misbehaving. There's a lot of things that will be happening. When I shoot on the native resolution that comes with my phone, I discovered that it's more stable. So I don't have option than to shoot on 4K. So those are the limitations that I have. I exported Full HD first before I tried to export the 4K, and the 4K took me around 1 hour plus or thereabouts, and it was a good experience. I was so happy when we were able to do it and exported it in 4K resolution, and that will be the first work that we will do like that, full length, and it's in 4K. We've been doing 4K one way or the other, but not like this. And this time it was a great achievement for us, and we're happy about it, and God has been good to us. So know your limitation, know what you need to do, what you should not do, know all those things. You have to know the story, be able to coin the story around the crew, the cast, and all that. The location you have to use was another thing. We were wise about it, because we were shooting during the time that there was no light. We were shooting during the time it was a cashless period. We couldn't get cash. It was election period. It was terrible. There was no light, nothing. And this is where the phone came to help. There was no light, nothing. There was no fuel even to charge and all that. So now it was so helpful that we were using phone to do most of the thing, because what we just needed to do is to get 1, 2, 3 power banks each time to reduce the length of time by which we have light and recharge, and it made the project to come out in good time, instead of having excuses of not being able to do this. So I jotted here, what is your T? Your T-E-E. What's your T? 1, your talent, your experience, and your exposure. Have you done something close to that before? Have you invested towards it? Some of those things, I've been buying them for some years, 2, 3 years, little by little. I knew what I was going to do. I didn't just wake up one morning and just decide that I want to shoot a feature movie because I'm competing with somebody. No. I've been working on this. I started researching years back, and I've been working towards this for some time, and I've been investing my money in all this. I wasn't expecting anybody to do any magic. I wasn't looking for sponsor even. I just felt that, okay, let me see what I can do on my own. Buy a little this, buy this tomorrow, buy that tomorrow. By the time I put all this together, I was able to. Basically, they are all equipment meant for smartphone. I have quite a number of them, and that gave me confidence to go ahead to do it. So don't just jump into it. Save towards it, plan towards it, prepare yourself towards it. And so what is your T, your talent? How talented are you? What do you know yourself? What is your area of gifting? I'm the type that we want to sit there. I don't want to go out and be doing a lot of things seated. So I will be able to take time to edit. That will be good for me. I know about camera too. I know about music, so I can do soundtrack and all those things. So I know little of those things. So I didn't just decide to say, okay, I'm going to do this without getting people to support me. It's because I have quite a number of experience, I have quite a number of talents that I can use. As you keep shooting, you get improved. I begin to see some settings. Some of the applications on the phone, there's no basic set. Some people will ask, what setting am I going to? Sometimes, depending on the phone you are using, there are no 100% setting for anybody. You need to know your phone. You need to work with your phone, see what setting works best for that phone. So I've been working, the one that works for the V35 is different from the one that works for V50s. So it took some time of research for me. I've been doing one or two things. Deliberately, I shot this on V50. This is V40. But the memory, even the external memory is now full. So I have to move back to V50. I deliberately want to use V35 as an experiment. I want to use Filmic Pro. I deliberately use Filmic Pro to shoot this, just to experiment. Those are the things you need to be doing. Post-production also, you must be very careful. When you edit on the phone, the screen is so small, and that's why it calls for this kind of setup where I have a larger screen. I use an HDMI hub. I use a USB hub here where I can connect the mouse, I connect the keyboard, mouse, everything together and charge at the same time. So you can invest on that, buy a sort of HDMI hub whereby you can connect many things. Then it's not every Type-C phone, especially Android, that can do it. So you must just look for the one that it will work with. So this larger screen, when the light goes off, I continue doing whatever I want to do on the phone. When the light comes, or when I put on the generator, I go back to the screen. On a larger screen, I look at one or two things that I've done. Oh, I see, I need to adjust this. So, there are some I just left. That okay, let me just get away with that. Let's just manage that. So I was able to see, I was able to analyze it with a larger screen. That will be of help. So you can assess. If you cannot have a larger screen like this while you are editing, 40% of the projects I did it while using the light screen, but 60% was on the phone because we don't always have light here where I am. You don't have a screen like this you can use, or you don't know how to go about that. After editing, exports, play it on the screen, play it on your TV or whatever, on a laptop to see if there's anything you need to adjust. Major pros. This kind of setup is very economical. Depending on the phone that you are using, it can be faster on the phone, especially when you are rendering. So it's economical. You don't need to spend much. I don't need to be buying fuel, especially when there is no light. I will just be topping it with charging. The time I will spend on the system, I spend less, using the phone because I use power bank, so I won't consume. So it's wonderful. It also boosts one's confidence, because if I've been sitting down waiting for a professional camera, maybe 3 years, 10 years, 15 years, I will still be waiting. And up till now, since I've been wishing there's a particular camera that I want to start with, I've been dreaming of having that. I never got that. I will have been rusty. I will have been sitting down there, and I may not fulfill what God wants me to fulfill. So it will be helpful if you start with your phone, and it gives you confidence that you've been doing. The more you do it, the better you get. By the time you get on the professional camera, you won't have much problem. You don't go rusty. You still have knowledge. The same method that we use on the standard camera, we use also on the phone. So it keeps you going and you are not rusty. There are many people that have a lot of ideas 30 years ago is still there. They have not been able to shoot that script, that message God has given to them. They have not been able to shoot them for years. Many people died with those messages because they were waiting for a standard camera. They were waiting for that editor. They are waiting for when they have the money to buy the machine to edit. Waiting for when they have the money to buy a professional camera to do it. And then those messages die. Most people are online. They don't look at the camera you used to shoot now. They look at the message, look at how effective it has been, how you edit everything, how you put it together, and it was able to convince them. And the power of God backing it up. That is what people are looking at. So many scripts, many messages are still in the archive. Nothing is done. And you have the solution right in your pocket. The phone happens to be a mini studio, your movie studio, a mini movie studio. That is what your phone can do. Just with your phone, you can do quite a number of things. Everything you can do it on the phone and get fulfilled in your area of ministry. If you don't dot your I's and cross your T's, I tell you, it may look unprofessional and people may not want to, watch your messages and what you have. So you must take good care, know how to shoot with camera, know the rules that guide the rule that guides the camera cinematography. You have to know that and know the kind of equipment you are using, how it works, how you can go about it, and to make it more proper. So the only cons it has is that if care is not taken, if it's not properly taken, you look like it can look like a mediocre, it can look unprofessional if it's not properly done. So if you try and experiment with one or two things, you'll be able to fulfill that vision God has given to you. Thank you so much. My name is Olufemi Abraham from the ABC Productions.